Gold assets. Yes, the gold assets, we paid $6 million for them. It was all scrip, there's no performance, there was no cash in the transaction. But as much as the assets, the attraction to this company moving forward is the involvement of Norm Seckold. Norm Seckold, who you probably, a lot of us here in this room have been involved in the mining industry for a long time and aware of his name, but on the East Coast he's a legend of the mining industry. He's taken 6 projects into production. At 78 years old, he's still going strong. He's the exec chairman of Nickel Industries, $2.5 billion market cap. He's also chairman of Alpha HBA, $1 billion market cap, and he was the chairman of Santana, which, as most of you might know, is a market darling in the market here, New Zealand Gold, and he was the original chairman and major shareholder. So this is effectively Santana 2.0. Norm's on the board, he's non-exec chair, and at the AGM, he will, other than the name change, he'll step up to non-exec chairman. So he's a non-exec director at the moment. He'll be a non-exec chair, and then I'll remain as the exec director. So we've got a great team, great set of assets, and some amazing support for this company moving forward. New Zealand, a bit of a question for us here in Australia. We've been involved in the resources industry for so long. Why New Zealand? And you know, really, what I found out through this transaction and being there a week ago, it's got a long storied history of gold production for over 150 years. In the North Island, up near our Watakari project, we're only 5 kilometres from Waihi. I always get the Maori pronunciation wrong. Waihi's like the Kalgoorlie of New Zealand. It's got a 10 million ounce open pit, 200 metres from the main street of town. It had the biggest population in New Zealand in the 1890s. It's been sort of producing gold for 160 years. In the South Island, we've got 3 projects in the Otago goldfields, and again, that's sort of, but the reason that we're attracted to this, other than the brownfields assets and the under-exploration that's gone on there, and the reason for the under-exploration over the last 20 years is probably 20 years ago or 30 years ago, New Zealand's environmental approvals ratcheted right up. So we weren't interested as explorers and minerals developers at looking at it. But as we all know, the red tape and green tape here in Australia has just caught up over the last 20 years. The gold price has gone through a massive step change. New Zealand economy's broke, so they've had to reverse that and now start fast-track approvals for projects. So they were the key things, as well as Norm and the assets that attracted us to this. This has just been put out recently by the Fraser Institute, which is pretty compelling, pretty disturbing for us West Aussies as well, seeing that New Zealand's now ranked above Western Australia from a mining investment attractiveness index. That says quite a lot about what we're dealing with here. We all know about that, but also the opportunity in New Zealand. Market cap post-transaction and post the acquisition of the $6 million vend. We've only got just under 200 million shares on issue, so still pretty tight capital structure. We've got nearly $6 million in the bank, so we're well funded to attack these exploration opportunities really aggressively. Other than myself, Norm, I've spoken about. Peter Nightingale, he has been Norm's right-hand man for 20 years, been on a number of his boards. And Alex Passmore, many of you will know him. Alex has been the non-exec director on UVA with me since IPO and is staying on in that role. And Peter Zitten and Jason Beckton, they're 2 GOs. Peter's an expert in epithermal gold. They put these projects together over the last 3 years, and Jason's worked for Norm for 20 years. So that's the connection and how Norm sort of got involved and this came together. Our flagship asset is the Watakari project. Watakari is located in the North Island, as I said, just a couple of k's or 5 k's as the crow flies from Waihi. It's in a very prolific gold field. The Waihi gold mine's produced over 12,000 ounces, and there's numerous other projects. Over 50 epithermal mines in the whole Hauraki goldfield belt over the last 50 years. Also, it's an ex-production asset which produced over 29,000 ounces at 48 grams. So it is epithermal, very high grade. The South Island projects in the Otago goldfields, that's orogenic, but also well known to most of you. That's where Macrae's and also Santana's Bendigo-Ophir projects sit. I'll quickly skip through this, but there's a long story short here. We've got Waihi, which has just got a pointer. No. Okay. This is our tenement here. This is Waihi, the town, and where the mine is. This is which Oceana Gold still operate, and it's actually got the underground adits go underneath the town itself. Oceana's other asset, which is really interesting, is this WKP, which sits about 4 kilometres from our tenement boundary. Our first drilling target, which we've announced this week, here at Jubilee, which is the old production asset, that's about 7 kilometres. But this north-east, south-west structure hosts over 4 1 million ounce deposits. And at WKP, it's over 2.2 million ounces at 14 grams and growing for Oceana, and it's the focus of their exploration activities right now. And we were very, very lucky to get on the site trip recently, taken into the Oceana offices and through their core shed, and they're being very, very collaborative with us to help us, because they want us to operate well and be successful as they are. But they're the big boys in New Zealand. Yeah, this again touching on WKP. Some of their recent results: 4 metres at 43, 8 metres at 12. You know, they're spectacular results, and they're step-out holes about 2 kilometres south of the existing deposit, on structure, on trend, back towards our tenement boundary. We just announced these the other day. We're refining our drill program, and so these are some recently uncovered channel samples, which are super high grade here at Jubilee, which is our initial focus of our drilling program. And there's the drilling program itself, and what we're going to be targeting. And the focus of this program, there's about $5 million of exploration expenditure at Jubilee historically, but a lot of the drilling is only down to about 250 metres. So our plan is to drill deeper underneath the old adits, and just so most of those drill holes there are 400 to 500 metres, and that's starting as we announced on Monday in early October. So it's going to be a 3,000 metre program, and we're also going to, sitting here just south of Jubilee, that's some outcropping epithermal quartz. It's never been tested. It's running in the same structural trend. And there's actually 4 outcropping units there in that northeast southwest structure, and we're also going to be putting a drill hole into that as part of the program. At Otago, we've got 3 projects currently. The Invincible mine, which is a historic gold mine, ran from the 1880s to just before the Depression. You know, it was producing at sort of around 30 grams a tonne, but that's had no modern exploration done on it for over 50 years. So these are the opportunities that exist in New Zealand, and they only exist there, from what I said before, from the lack of exploration activity for all those reasons I mentioned over the last sort of 20, 30 years. Otarahua is another brownfields exploration project. It's only 20 k's from Santana's Rise and Shine, and about 50 kilometres from Macrae's. Again, an old production asset, and it's had no exploration activities on it for the last 50 years. So we've got a couple of amazing opportunities here to follow up with Waitakauri. We expect to be drilling Waitakauri, well, we are going to be drilling Waitakauri starting early October for the best part of the next 6 months. So lots of news flow, and then Q1 next year we'll be probably targeting to drill Invincible first, and then followed up by Otarahua. Rory Meg, Lotton Point, other sort of lower ranked exploration projects in the portfolio. Just to wrap it up, you know, we're really excited about the opportunity we've got here. We've got cash in the bank, and with no need to go back to market until we found, you know, made a significant discovery. We're following up high grade producing assets and high grade veins that haven't been drill tested properly or at all in 40 or 50 years. We're led by Norm with his track record and backing, and you know, we're highly leveraged to success. We're just over a 20 million market cap today, and we'll start having results coming through from November, early mid-November. So thanks again for your time, and hopefully I look forward to a couple of other major shareholders joining the register shortly. Thank you.